Oh, okay. We
Hi.
are live. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jasani. Sorry for the delay. This is our first time doing this, and we're kind of like I don't can you, balls to the wall. I'm just gonna say it. Balls to the wall with it.
Some technical issue.
Yes, this is exciting. A very
Mhm.
first for me. Oh, I know
Me
what I'm doing.
too.
First for both of us. Sorry, it was first for both of us, and I created a whole script. So I'm gonna read that just to get us comfy. So hi, welcome. My name is Jasani. If you are new here, I am Jesani Awen, and this is
Fabio Collini, I'm a spiritual life coach.
yes the best. Very good with emotional processing and getting you through so much of like trauma, trigger, emotion to the other side, and transforming your life. But we could get into that a little bit later. Just to let you know, we're two gay, very different yet very spiritual and grounded men navigating what it means to live life brutally authentic. We share our wisdom, insights, experiences, and challenges from our decades of living. And we do warn you, we don't sugarcoat and we don't play by the rules of society. So just so you know, we co-create our lives. That's how our intentions are.
100%.
Period.
Period. 100%.
100%. And we did put a disclaimer. Everything may not resonate with you with what we're saying, and that's okay. Just only take what does. That's the main point. The show is about sovereignty. If you don't know what sovereignty is, we can talk about it, but look it up first. Um, we all have our inner compass, and that is going to lead us to our best path. So remember that you have an inner compass. And we do believe you clicked on this though for a reason. So we do invite you to have an open mind as well and question yourself and ask, do I relate with this or not? What do I relate with?
Mhm.
And that was the intro. Okay,
Move
so
this
excited.
away. Now let's start.
So we could say the reason that me and Fabio even created this is because we always have these crazy conversations and we're always like,
We should share that. The
yeah,
entire process.
yeah. Because we're also two people that we anything each of us goes through, I can say like you're an important part and like a vessel for me to go to when it comes to navigating a lot of things. And I've cried on this couch before and said like Fabio is a person that you don't only go to with some deep things you're facing, but he also sits with you and doesn't abandon you to your feelings. Because I've met a lot of people who do that. I met a lot of spiritual coaches and guides and teachers who abandon you with all your feelings. They like bring it up to the surface and then leave you with it to just figure it out. I'm also met therapists who've done that too. And Fabio's really good at like just I see it, we see it, stay with it, and he's like there to like be with me through all of it coming up. And so we're like, let's just start.
Yeah. But you do it also the same with me. So it's not only like one way, it's always like both way. So
Mhm.
kind of like we are similar even though if we work in a different ways.
Mhm.
So the approach is similar. Like I had also like a cry session before and he was there and holding a space. So uh, friendship.
Friendship. I do that a little
So
bit.
yeah.
So yeah, so why not? I think we're two powerful beings come together and we hold such a great space together. I think why not share it with everybody else? You know, share everybody else.
But also the process, which is I think
Yeah.
like for everybody is like first of all, if it doesn't feel like you are alone because other people go on the same journey, the same shit,
Mm.
and others
Sometimes don't know how
be
to
like,
navigate it.
yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like you're alone. No one understands, or it's impossible to figure out.
exactly.
And sometimes just telling somebody else, they can give you that missing word, key thing that helps it all click into place. And you're like, oh. or you can be like, okay, this seems a lot easier to navigate.
Yeah.
Um, which we actually did last night, where Fabio was navigating feelings, and a very,
Yeah.
honestly, a very useful tool is past lives. Past lives will
True.
make a lot of things that don't make sense. So I, like, for instance, a friend of mine was afraid of planes. She every time there were turbulence, she thought her life was in danger. And I looked into her Akashic record, and we found out that she was a fighter in, I think, World War II. Um, and her plane went down, and she couldn't eject, so she died in the plane crash. And so now that's what makes it, turbulence freaks her out so much, like she's about to
Mm.
die. And she said, as soon as I told her that, she said, when I told her that the next plane she took, she wasn't afraid anymore. She wasn't I don't know if she said as afraid or not afraid at all, but like literally, it was just like a complete 180, where she's like, as soon as I found out that it wasn't this, it wasn't me, it was actually a past life that's bringing in. I don't need to be afraid because there's nothing actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes past life, anything. But why don't you tell them about you, Fabio, and what you do, and what
In terms of work wise.
yeah, in terms of the services you bring to people.
Okay. Um, what I'm doing is majority like my focus are emotions, which are the first causation that create like trauma and wound in our childhood, but that we carry for the rest of our life and shape our way of thinking, behavior, and all in between.
Mm.
Um, when you go directly into the emotion and you start to see with that, because we are not trained for it, like literally what has been told to us, like to dissociate by from emotion, not consider, we need to be what's
Sorry.
happened.
I need to take out this autofocus thing off of this because damn. But you can continue.
Okay.
I'll move it.
um I'm distracted from everything that
Fine.
is happening. um so yeah, basically, that's one is my focus. It's like reconnect the people to the emotions and understand like what was the first initial trigger that create like the entire story, the entire um, like the brain, how it's gonna prevent us to go back in that aspect, like in that experience. So all the strategy that we apply in a relationship or like in
Mm-hmm.
life in general, even towards ourselves, are like literally survival mechanisms.
Right.
So when we understand that, and which is the emotion that starts everything, so then it's gonna be easier to change. It's like a pure shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working a lot on the subconscious level, so it's kind of like it's going deep on what is in the subconscious.
Yeah.
So in that way, when you bring into the conscious, it's not anymore subconscious. So you are really aware of all the mechanics. So you know exactly why you do what you're doing and why you react in the way you react. And from that, open up the doorway for a choice,
Mm-hmm.
like where before was just a trigger and a reaction of situations, but after is becoming more like a conscious response because you know why. And from there, you move and you start to build the life based on conscious choices. So
Mm-hmm.
that means your wants, your need, your desire, or your boundaries set in place and
Yeah.
put forward.
Period. How I like to say with Fabio is we realize that he is a lot more grounded. He's a lot more he's a mermaid. I call him a mermaid or a merking. So he's more grounded and connected to the ground, and I'm very galactic and spacey up in the sky. So he helps you to face it and like come down to look it in the face in order to move past it. Because as you heard, we get into our own way a lot. We all get in our own way, and I feel like because you are able to pull it down, you get out of your way, or you move through whatever it is that's blocking you. You can't move through it unless you see it.
It's also as part of what I'm doing, like also energetically, is zooming and I'm out. Bye, guys. I'm here.
So, I don't know why.
Was a pleasure.
Oh, sorry. Let me put it this way.
So
You're good.
also like the things that I'm usually doing, like with a session with a client, but also with multiple
I don't
people
know.
sometimes, is also connect with the emotions, and I'm tend to feel what the other people feelings, and I also can help the process, because at the same time I help the transmutation of the emotion on the go.
Mm.
So yeah, is a lot. This
Yeah.
camera is going wild. Why we don't leave at this point? Like with
Oh,
the
because you moved to
Zoom
upper body. Why did it do that? Okay. We're going to group and we're going to tear it off.
technical issue.
Yeah, so again, this is our
So I
first
think
time.
like it's the first time it's gonna go through those type of
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
So bear with us, guys. I
I
hope
can
it's
keep
not
zooming in and out. Yeah, see, it's
problematic.
zooming
Yeah.
itself. That's what you're doing.
Okay.
Auto framing and auto zooming. That's what it's doing.
But
Got
because
it.
we do something with the hand.
Yeah, it's just,
So because we moved our hand, it's kind of like it's
yeah.
doing by itself.
I think I moved my hand. I moved in or something, and then it just
I mean,
started.
I'm moving my hand as well. So okay.
So
I
this
think
is real life. That's
we are
what
there now.
we're there. Yeah. So yes.
So
Sorry, I was half distracted. You were saying,
no, I was finished. It's
okay.
like I explained like how I also use like empathy during the sessions.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you come down to our level, and so not only we are meeting it, we're not meeting what we're meeting alone, because you're there by our side meeting it. That's why I guess I was saying earlier when I said he stays with you, he comes down, so you're not meeting whatever you're meeting alone, which is great. For me, just to introduce myself, I go by Jesani Awen, and for me, I'm open up into the realm of sacred sexuality and or sacred intimate, um, but not using in the terms that a lot of people use it, where they use a lot of tantric, and it's all about like being in these situations with other people. Mine's is about more of self understanding, self reliance, self acceptance. Because I realized growing up, I was always a giver, give. That's all I ever done. That's all I ever known is how to show up for everyone else. And now I'm in a point in my life where I'm receiving and things are coming in, and I actually don't even know what to ask for. I never knew what my own pleasure is, what I enjoy, what I like, how to calm my nervous system. Um, and so learning all of this, I was like, there's this missing piece. And then I'm learning, and sacred sexuality became part of my world. And so I realized there's this missing piece in the middle. And I'm very galactic. If you ever heard of star seeds, and if you don't like star seeds, that's okay. Um, I would say one or two things. You can stay and get a new perspective on what a star seed is, because I know a lot of people had negative experiences with star seed, or you can just run. I don't, whatever you choose. But I've worked with energy healer. Um, I do this thing called multi-dimensional soul integration, which helps you to bring in a fragment or aspect of yourself that brings in their wisdom, abilities, skills, and so it kind of like a power up in a way. But I do it in a really fun way that's very cinematic and going through quests. It feels like you're in a movie. His was crazy.
I done it with him.
Yeah, I think we did twice, 3 times.
3 times.
3 times. His
Amazing
stuff
experience.
always was crazy and fun, and like you leave at it like wow, like you just went through a movie. So I do all these things. My intention for all of these is to give you back your sovereignty and give you back your controller on your life. And I believe the way that we can navigate our life to look the way that we choose to unapologetically is by understanding yourself first and foremost. Because what are you even asking for? How do you know what you're asking for if you don't even know what you want, what you need? You can't set boundaries if you don't know what your needs are. You can't ask for things if you don't know what actually makes you feel good or your pleasures. So my whole intention is realigning you back with yourself, with understanding yourself fully and deeply, so that life matches you and what you know about yourself. Like my life, which is lovely and matches me.
I think like also our journey, like individual journey,
Mhm.
uh, it's kind of like shaped in a way like how our work,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
like was the like literally the foundation of the to heal, and after basically becoming something that
Mm-hmm.
we bring forward as a service as for the collective. So
That's true.
it's,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, it's kind of like is finding like the pearl in whatever we went through.
If you can't see what he's wearing,
Was
it's literally
egging up.
pearls. So that was a setup for the pearl jewelry. Buy your
That wasn't
pearls today.
intentional, though.
You know what I'm realizing? I'm wearing
Yeah,
fake pearls right now too. Oh, you can't see them, but I'm actually wearing
white on white.
fake pearls. I like white on white. Is
Yeah,
that?
no,
It's an
nice.
interesting thing that I like to do sometimes. Like wear white on white and make it like super white. Um,
It's extra white.
extra white, just to say clean. But yeah, I totally agree with that because I was raised in a conservative Christian household. Very I had the word and I just lost the word, but I have it. I found it. I know what word I'm going to use. I know exactly the word I'm going to use. It was. I know what word. I know what
Suspense.
word. This word was very sheltered. That's the word.
Okay.
Got it. Knew I had it. Thank you. Um, so I've lived a very sheltered life. Very like at home. Didn't go out with friends. When friends went to movies and things, that wasn't a thing that I did. Um, and sorry, I was hearing a sound. I didn't know what the sound was. So yeah, sheltered at home life, and I didn't have a lot of access to my voice because my mom told us what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, and everything for us very Christian, but also Caribbean household. So if you are Asian or African, you know of these very strict ways of being. That's like do this, do that, get an education, become a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, and then I grew up in that household. So I didn't have an opinion or allowed to have an opinion. So I literally grew up only knowing how to show up for everyone else and serve everyone else. To the point that my brother had a stutter and I used to practice finishing his sentences. So I would have to think ahead of him so that I can finish his sentence for him.
Mm.
So I have to be very pay attention to the conversation, pay attention to where he's going with the conversation, and know how to finish. Because when the stutter, and I have to wait for the stutter. Because the stutter hits, I have to know how to replace the word.
Okay.
I literally taught myself how to do that young. Like I learned how to just be this thing for everyone else. Um, and then I grow up, and I don't know who I am, where I want to go, what I want to do. I'm just this lost puppy. And yeah, a few years ago, to be honest, I want to say like 2022
Mm.
is when I made a decision to fully like go my own path for me unapologetically
Mm.
without the concept of will my mom be proud, will my dad like this, would I make people jealous who talk shit up stuff about me. I'm trying not to curse on YouTube. To talk stuff about me in
I
school.
already done it.
Oh, Rainer is here. Thank you, my love, for coming. Um, yeah, so I learned how to just be quiet, be mild, be meek, and to follow.
Mm.
And then I turned into the baddest No, I'm joking. I am still on the journey, but I've gotten to a place where now I choose and I watch it happen.
Hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, choice is everything in the end. It's like is what make us reach certain point, but also not choosing is what steer our way in a completely different direction. The point is we are not in control because we asking that the choice has been made for us in a way or another. That can be another person, that can be the universe, can be where you want to go.
Yeah.
So it's better like so proud of you
Exactly. Thank you.
to
Believe
take
me,
ownership
something
because
will choose for you.
exactly because in the end like ownership of every single action thought is very important.
Radical responsibility is what I call it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm using this word radical a lot more. It really takes a leader and a step into the word radical.
Yeah.
Because radical doesn't allow for any like I didn't feel like it. It's like you're stepping into it fully.
Mhm.
Radical is like I'm doing life, you know? Step into it fully. Connection is unstable. Okay. So things might cut in and out.
Can you see us, guys?
I think it's
Hopefully, yeah,
fine.
okay.
It came back.
Hopefully.
Good eye. Yeah, the word radical. I've been using the word radical and loving this word radical.
Okay.
Like radical radical responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I've really been going into, so understanding that my words have power and influences people. What I say and what I do, they all affect someone else. So making sure that I'm doing it with purpose and I know what I'm saying, why I'm saying it, and I don't say it to be like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to. I don't have to repeat myself. There's no second guessing. Like if I said it, and however you take it, I take responsibility for how I said it because I know
Mm-hmm.
why I said it. I know why I said it. I know that I said it. So whatever happens after, I take responsibility for what happens after because I know I said it
No, exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
Because people like to pull back their words a lot and be like, "Oh, that's not what I meant."
Mm.
You said it, so that's what I'm taking.
It's ownership and taking
It's
responsibility.
ownership.
Yeah.
You have in your head something else, but you said it. Now you can correct me and say, "Actually, I meant to say this," or "My intention was this." You can say that. But if you say it, you said it. It's there. It's out into the world already. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can now like explain it or set attention if it was misunderstood, but it's gone. You can be like, no, that's not what I meant. So it's already digested.
I'm totally agree with you. Sometimes also kind of like depends of the process where like in which stage of the process are you still like try to figure it out like how to say it and that one is still fine. I think it's
Yeah.
like you find like your own way of expressing sometimes because I found like this one is also can be quite challenging sometimes. It's like
Yes.
I know where I'm standing in my mind when I need to vocalize to somebody else that of course is not me. So it's kind of like I need to deliver in a more clear way. I'm like, as I say in a wrong way,
Yeah.
it was correct, it was understandable. So those ones are like sometimes like my questions where I'm going through majority of the time. And especially when I'm starting, like, okay, this is something new. Let me start say or set up a boundaries.
Yeah.
I remember like the first time I started to set the boundaries because as well as him, I was terrible on setting boundaries. Was like trial and error. Was full trial and error. So yeah, but also owning that error is everything.
Owning the error is everything. Yeah.
I found out like it's very important also that aspect. At least for me.
For
from my
me too.
experience.
For me too. I mean, something like over own. So they could be like, sorry. Or like
That one is
over
part
something.
of the mistake. Like you apologize because you recognize the
Yes.
mistake. So it's still like owning. We still like on the power in the end.
Yeah. Right, because you don't have my power.
Ah.
But you did help me realize that sometimes if English is your second language, then yes, words can
for
get
me
muddled.
it's a second language. Originally Italian. I don't know if you can tell.
I couldn't.
No, shocking. Oh, come.
But yeah, I lived in Mexico because I lived in Mexico City, and there was times I would get mad at people. And I remember my friend, I was the guy's girlfriend at the time. She was like, well, sometimes he does say things, and even I'm just like, what? But I understand it's a language barrier. And sometimes I know I used to be like, I don't care. I know he knows what he's saying. He know what he meant by that. That man knows enough English. But honestly, he did know enough English. He knew a lot of English. It wasn't like it. He spoke so clearly, you would think this is first. But he lived in Mexico, so there's still a culture there, and there's still ways of expressing, like te amo, te quiero,
Mm.
and something else is a way of saying I love you. One is lesser. Te quiero is like the second version of like I
It's
love
similar
you.
to Italian though.
Yeah, and then te amo, just like my life is yours, you know. And it's like, and she's even told me like he's saying te amo. I'm more of like te quiero kind of. I'm over here, but he keeps saying te amo. So it's like there's words that how they say it can mean different things. So per. I think we want to talk today about our intention, our transitioning during 2025.
Mm.
What's transitioning for us in 2025? Now that we're in a new year, things
Yeah.
are moving already. 16 days in, 17 days in, 17 days in, and
Inject directly, like with a new.
and we're moving it through. His is much bigger than mine is, but it is big for me. Mine is big
No,
for
it's
me,
big.
right? Um, so
In different ways are big for both of us.
yeah, yeah, very big. I mean, just yours is objectively big, so for everyone, it's gonna be like,
No, I mean, like, see, that one is the point. Like, I don't even. It's a process. When it's a personal process, there is no like a comparison between like mine is bigger, but yours is lesser.
yeah,
It's more like is a phase or is an episode or a situation that happened
mhm,
and it's part of life. It's how you handle with your emotion, with yourself, with the situation itself, the again, the choice that you make, the
mhm,
perspective that you want to acquire, or how you reframe also like your reality in itself, and how you frame yourself into this big picture. I think that one is what really matter and
yeah,
is big in a
mhm,
special way for
yeah,
what we are going to, what we feeling are going to in the end
yeah.
result.
And this is why we are friends, or I'm friends with Fabio, because we have this higher mind thinking of things.
Mm.
Like something happens to us, and normal person would just react and run and have feelings. But we sit